Greetings everybody, my name is Tommy the Game Master and welcome to my channel. Well, I love all things Kingdom Hearts, so with the Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 collection out, I have to ask, is this worth getting? Let's take a quick look at it and find out. Now, I'm not going to be reviewing the games on this collection. I already reviewed them in depth from the PS3 collection. I don't know if me going on and on about them again would be very helpful. What I am going to do though is live stream Kingdom Hearts 2 and then do some tip videos for Kingdom Hearts 1 in a similar vein that I did my Chain of Memories guides. They're not going to be in depth and I'm not going to go look at some of the extra bosses, but I can help guide a few players through some of the more confusing parts of that game's story missions, and that is why I want to do it, because that game can be somewhat confusing. And then also do this comparison video and just say my thoughts after a few days spent with it, spending about 1 or 2 hours spent in most of these games. I will be honest, I haven't played much of Birth by Sleep yet, but enough to know that it does possess the same strengths and weaknesses as the PS3 version's collections, just with the load screen flaws ironed out. Oh, and if you're wondering why I said 4 games and not 6, 2 are cutscene movies and are unchanged from what I have seen from the PS3 versions, other than there is no longer trophy support from them now. So now you don't even get to increase your gamer score for the comatose stupor these boring 3-hour cutscenes will put you in. They might still have unlockable wallpapers, but I had a choice between watching these or knocking myself out by hitting myself in the face with a hammer. I would choose the hammer. It's faster and less painful. In case you missed my point, unless you do not own a DS or a 3DS, I don't recommend watching these movies. They're boring cutscene-esque movies that missed out on the fun of the original game and have some big moments completely cut. For example, how many people poke fun of Xian's death scene at the end of 358? She's powering up! Her power level is above 9,000! Oh, she's dead. Anyways, so far from what I have played of this collection, I can say this is definitely going to be a definitive edition. The fact that Square Enix is patching up problems made from a few of the upgrades they made for the PS4 and seeming to also fix issues from the PS3 version tells me that this may be so. First, the gameplay is now in 60 frames per second and it looks and feels good. Just seeing how smoothly these games run now, it definitely increases the enjoyability factor for these games. And while I will admit these are more tweaks and they don't run as smoothly as the Dream Drop Distance remake on the 2.8 collection, they still look really good. But that's not what made me want to get this collection. Let's take a look at the load times. Now, the load times in the PS3 version were terrible, but I'm not complaining about the load times getting into and out of the worlds in most of the game, which are vastly superior on the PS4, however. I'm talking about the load times that you're going to be running into constantly and not once every hour. I'm talking about the ones that you're more likely to find in Kingdom Hearts RE Chain of Memories and Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, the load times that really screw up the gameplay. So what does get improved? In RE Chain of Memories, rooms load much faster and have several seconds reduced from their times. Now, yeah, this is the same as the world's booting faster. However, in Chain of Memories, you encounter long load times so frequently that having these reduced can take hours off the time of a run-through, because you get a long load time every time you change rooms, and there's probably about 200 to 300 rooms in this game. As the PS3 load times were a lot longer for COM than even the PS2 version. To have these reduced to being just a little bit longer than the Game Boy Advance load times for the rooms is a nice relief and makes the game better. Also, the stuttering and delay that happens sometimes when activating some of the slights is now gone or has been greatly reduced, and the gameplay just feels so much smoother in Chain of Memories. This is one of the games that I wanted to see worked on, and it's been very much improved. But that's nothing compared to the big changes in Kingdom Hearts 2. Not only does the 60 frames a second make the combat smoother in this game, but what makes it better is the drive forms are now fixed. What do I mean by that? In the PS3 collection, activating drive forms came with a load time, in which Sora was paralyzed and the enemies that he knocked away by his transformation would be able to get up and move around long before he was able to move and combo them from his knockback. Now it's even faster than the PS2. You activate it and you can go right into a combo. The only thing this long load time did in the PS3 version, which gave you kind of a silver lining, was whenever you got anti-form, you were able to have a nice cussing rant and get it over long before Sora was able to move, and you could figure out exactly what to do with anti-form Sora so you wouldn't get killed whenever you got transformed into him. That was the only advantage to having such a long load time, and I am glad to see it gone. And yes, I am also aware that you can also pause the game and have it boot the form while it's paused, so you can still get those combos from the knockbacks, but it still screws up the rhythm of the game. Anyways, these games run more smoothly and at 60 frames per second, and I myself have not found any huge bugs dealing with the 60 frames per second upgrade. Now, I'm still playing the story missions on most of these games. I haven't hit the extra bosses or side content where some of the precise timing is actually needed, or else you'll get killed. If I run into any bugs there, I will let you guys know through a video. Now on to the big question, should I buy this collection? Well, unless you hate action RPGs or Kingdom Hearts, then the answer is yes. The real question is to get it now or wait for a price drop. Is it worth $50? It just depends on who you are, if you ask me. Okay, so I'm going to split the people who might be interested in these games into 3 groups of people and tell you if you should get it now or perhaps wait for the price drop, because it might not be worth $50 to you. The first group of people are the people who haven't gotten into Kingdom Hearts yet and might be interested. The answer to this is yes, this is the best versions of the game available, and all but one of the games is represented in some form or another here, and that missing one is in 2.8. You get the best frame rates, best resolution, and fastest load time in the series. If you're interested in giving these action RPGs a chance, then there is no better time than now. It's absolutely the best way to experience them so far. Group 2 would be the people who have played or own the PS2 versions and wondering if it's worth getting them for the HD upgrade. And I would say the HD upgrade alone is worth it, but there's more than just a prettier picture and better frame rate. You see, 3 out of 4 of the games have the word Final Mix in them. What does that mean? They're Japanese special editions with a lot of nice extras in them. For the original Kingdom Hearts and Birth by Sleep, the changes and extras are nice, but they're not really noticeable unless you go out to find everything. But Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix makes our original PS2 version seem small in comparison, like half of the content was removed. Definitely worth getting this game if you loved Kingdom Hearts 2, because the Final Mix is something that has to be experienced by every Kingdom Hearts fan, because it includes extra drive modes, extra story modes, even several extra bosses, including one right in the middle of the story, and even an extra dungeon. So the Final Mix, definitely check it out if you're a fan of the PS2 versions and haven't already. Now, finally, Group 3 is the trickiest. These are the ones that actually owned the PS3 collections. Well, I say, how much do you see yourself playing these games again, and ask if what I described is worth $50 to you. Now, I'm hardcore into these games, and I love the changes, but if you're a casual lover of the series, there's nothing wrong with waiting for a sale or price drop, as there is nothing new here other than a ton of improved specs. It improves the gameplay a whole lot, but if you're in for extra story or looking for something new, there isn't anything here in this collection, unfortunately. Well, that's all I got to say about this collection. So far, I am enjoying it, and it is much improved over the PS3. That said, not everybody should be looking at upgrading. If you have the PS3 versions and you're happy with them, don't worry about going out and getting the PS4. There is nothing new here, but the improved specs do really improve the game, and like I said, I am enjoying it. Anyways, this is Tommy thanking you for listening to this comparison video. If you guys have any comments about this, feel free to leave them down below. I'll answer any questions that I can. I'll see you guys later.